Sacred blood creature shrieky beast killed. No beast soul gained. Eat its meat to gain 0 to 10 sacred geno points. Hussein had little interest in listening to the voice. He was staring at the meat cooking in the pot with his mouth watering. His stomach was rumbling as he was starving. But Hussein was still being patient. He waited until the meat stew was ready and started to gobble directly from the pot. Meat of sacred blood shrieky beast eaten. 1 sacred geno point gained. Meat of sacred blood shrieky beast eaten. 1 sacred geno point gained. Hussein gorged himself silly and devoured nearly 20 pounds of meat and soup altogether, which even scared himself. But as the warmth spread in his body, he felt so comfortable as if he was a sponge that was filled with water. He lay on the ground and almost moaned out loud. Sacred blood meat is indeed wonderful. If I could have such a pot every day, I would be so healthy and strong. Hussein licked his lips. Unfortunately, he only had such a blessing every 3 months. With the 5 sacred geno points gained from eating the shrieky beast, he now had 34 sacred geno points. It had only been half a year and he had 1/3 the maximum count of sacred geno points. No one would believe him even he told people the truth. He went to the plaza and bought a primitive creature the size of a chicken and fed the black crystal to it. While doing this, Hussein had something else on his mind. He could finally claim his beast soul reward from the contest. No matter what kind of beast soul he got, it would be a sacred blood one, what many people could only dream of. What is the best? A bow, a mount, or a humanoid beast soul? Hussein thought it would be difficult for him to choose, because he wanted everything. However, he had only one chance and it was not even up to him. At midnight when there was no one around, Hussein quietly entered a martial ring, which had been closed after the contest. Except for him, no one could enter before next year's contest started. After he had claimed his prize, he would not be able to enter either. Standing in front of the sacred stele, Hussein placed his palm on the stele and suddenly all kinds of images of beast souls started shifting rapidly on the stele. Hussein removed his palm and the images were still changing and slowed down after a while. Hussein's heart was racing with the images. When the image froze on one beast soul, Hussein was completely attracted by it. A seductive blonde woman with hourglass figure and scarlet pupils in red-fitting armor and a ruby crown, walked out from the stele and smiled at Hussein, almost stealing his soul away. Then she became a shadow and entered Hussein's mind. He suddenly heard the voice say, "Sacred blood beast soul fairy queen gained." Hussein was ecstatic and quickly checked the details of fairy queen. Type of sacred blood beast soul fairy queen, shape-shifting. Shape-shifting, Hussein almost cheered, but on a second thought, it was a shame that such a beautiful beast soul could not be summoned to stand alone, but had to be integrated in his body. But a shape-shifting beast soul was undoubtedly the most expensive beast soul type, not to mention it was a humanoid. Hussein could not wait to summon the fairy queen beast soul and turn into a fairy. Suddenly Hussein's body was wrapped in red armor, and a ruby crown was worn on his head. His pupils became scarlet like the fairy queen and his dark hair turned blonde. Basically he turned into the male version of the fairy queen. Hussein felt all aspects of his fitness had been greatly improved. Although the improvement in speed and strength was not as great as with the Bloody Slayer, all aspects were very balanced. This beast soul also came with a suit of armor, which was not as strong as the Black Beetle armor, but would be comparable to a top mutant armor beast soul. The Fairy Queen beast soul had enhanced his abilities in all aspects, in a balanced way. To Hassan's surprise, his eyesight seemed to have become very strong. After shape-shifting into the Fairy Queen, he could even see the fine lines of a rock very far away from him. He was also feeling odd about something, as if everything has slowed down in his eyes. Hassan did not know whether it was just his illusion. The only pity was that when using Fairy Queen, he could not use Bloody Slayer or Black Beetle armor. But this did not matter much, because Fairy Queen's own armor was also quite good. The best part for Hassan was that he could use this beast soul in shapeshift when using his real identity, and no one would know it was Dollar's prize. Therefore, as Hassan, he could also use a powerful beast soul and did not have to turn into Dollar to use Bloody Slayer and Black Beetle armor. Fairy Queen was just what Hassan needed now. He did not want to be considered weak by the world forever. All the fairies in myths and legends are with wings. If Fairy Queen also has wings, it would be perfect, Hassan thought greedily. After the excitement, Hassan sneaked out of the martial ring. The day after tomorrow was the first day of school. He had to go register and then go to his dormitory. Blackhawk was a military school, so the rules followed military standards. Once enrolled, a student could not go out of the school and had to stay in the dormitory, except for holidays and special occasions. Although Blackhawk was large enough to assign each student his or her own room, 4 students would have to share a room in the dormitory so as to enhance team awareness and collective sense of honor. Hassan's roommates were all specially enrolled archery students like himself. Hassan was the last one to arrive in the dormitory. The other 3 had moved in for several days. "Brother, why are you so late?" "We cannot wait." When Hassan had moved into the dormitory, his 3 roommates surrounded him like a bunch of hooligans trying to tease a maiden. "What do you want?" Hassan subconsciously protected his chest and looked at them with vigilance. "Brother, do not be afraid. We just want to discuss with you who our leader should be. I think we should go by age. The oldest should be the leader. As you all know, wisdom grows with age. So, I will make a great leader." The speaker was a big man more than 6 feet tall. The rolling of his eyes suggested that he might not be so trustworthy, unlike what was suggested by his muscular body.